pleasure to welcome you to the 22nd Woman of Excellence Award Luncheon. On behalf of everyone associated with the YWCA, I thank you for joining us as we honor these Miami County women whose leadership and dedication serve us as an inspiration. Before we continue, we ask that you turn off or silence your cell phones. Thank you. Today, we would like to pay tribute to one of our founding members of the YWCA Women of Excellence Committee, Cheryl Stiffel Francis.
Cheryl was instrumental in the development and the continued success of the YWCA Women of Excellence program, serving at every level of involvement, including the Women of Excellence chairperson. Cheryl joined the YWCA in 1980 and was actively involved in the organization. She received Piqua highest community award, the Order of George, in 2005. Cheryl touched everyone's lives with her genuine spirit of compassion and kindness. She saw the light in everyone. She loved her faith and lived her faith and was an inspiration to all of us. Cheryl will always hold a special place in our hearts. Her spirit and light live on. Linda and Chris Tatarian will perform Humble and Kind. These lyrics illustrate how Cheryl lived her life. Following the musical selection, please begin enjoying your lunch.
You know there's a light that glows by the front door. Don't forget the keys under the mat when childhood stars shine. Always stay humble and kind. Go to church 'cause your mama says to. Visit grandma every chance that you can. It won't be wasted time. Always stay humble and kind. Hold the door, say please, say thank you. Don't cheat, and don't lie. I know you got mountains to climb, but always stay humble and kind. When the dreams you're dreaming come to you, when the work you put in is realized, let yourself feel the pride, but always stay humble and kind. Don't expect a free ride from no one. Don't hold a grudge or a chip, and here's why. Bitterness keeps you from flying. Always stay humble and kind. Don't take for granted the love this life gives you. When you get where you're going, don't forget to turn back around and help the next one in line. Always stay humble and kind. Hold the door, say please, say thank you. Don't steal, don't cheat, and don't lie. I know you've got mountains to climb. your dreaming come to you. When the work you put in is realized, let yourself feel the pride, but always stay humble and kind. Yes, always stay humble and kind. God bless Cheryl.
Again, good afternoon to everyone. We hope you enjoyed your lunch and the conversations and the friendships shared around your tables. We invite you to please feel free to enjoy your lovely dessert and beverage as we begin our presentation to this year's YWCA Women of Excellence. I'm privileged today to present to you those Women of Excellence honorees. Nominations for the award were accepted from throughout Miami County. The women who were nominated have shown qualities of leadership and a high level of achievement. The nominations were reviewed and the honorees selected by an independent panel of judges. No member of the YWCA Board of Directors, staff, or Women of Excellence Committee served on that panel, nor were they eligible for nomination. The Women of Excellence distinguished themselves as those who possess an inner fire. We will be presenting them with an award that symbolizes that fire. It is the flame which burns with a desire to achieve, the flame that produces energy, the flame that sparks ideas, the flame that warms our hearts, the flame that ignites action, the flame that melts obstacles, the flame that serves as a beacon for others to follow. It is the flame that casts that light of excellence. Our first honoree to be recognized is, I'm pointing, Connie Straley. Her motto in more than 40 years in education was to do what was best for kids. I always kept my kids number one, she said. While her list of degrees is long and diverse, her list of positive, heartwarming friendships with staff and students longer, Jennifer Everett of Piqua Spring Creek Elementary School wrote of Connie, "She's the pinnacle of what a student advocate should be. In the words, you're going to love this one, of one second grade student, Mrs. Straley's kind to us and she knows all our names." You know, Connie, if we allow ourselves to be envious, we certainly envy your memory. Connie, who retired earlier this year after 44 years in education, said she loved going to work every day during a career that included stops at Dayton City Schools, Vandalia Schools, Trotwood Madison Schools, Miami East Schools, and most recently, Piqua City Schools, where she was principal at Spring Creek Elementary from 2014 until retirement. A native of Vandalia, she holds a bachelor's degree in school health from Eastern Kentucky University, master's degrees in educational leadership and counseling from Wright State University, good school where I went, and a PhD from Miami University. In deference to her degree, I will now use her much-earned title in these remarks. When heading off to college, Dr. Straley chose to major in education over several other options for women of the time, including nursing, being a secretary, or staying at home. I loved activities, so I was a physical education major, she said. She taught for 4 years before moving into guidance counselor work at Trotwood Madison. After 8 years in that role, she moved into administration for the remainder of her career. I really liked it when my superintendents gave me a task, she said, and told me, go do it. You don't accomplish it on your own. That's where I really liked building teams and working with teams because you can accomplish so much more. I'm certain that we can all agree with that.
She credited her parents, the late Donald Palsgrove, and her mother, who I hear is here today. Hi, Roberta Palsgrove, who was a school secretary in Vandalia and now lives in Piqua. And Mom played a key role in her life. Connie said her advice to other women is to go after what you want. I wanted a career, but I also wanted a family, and I had both. If you have a goal in mind, go after it. Dr. Straley went on to say, I've been blessed with health, the relationships I have built in education, and the opportunities which have been afforded to me. I really get a lot of pleasure, she said, out of seeing class students be successful. It's like a Chessy cat just smiling. And I'm sure we can all have a mental visual on that one. Well, after reading all of this, I must make the observation that Dr. Straley's initial choice of a physical education major must have given her the stamina necessary for such a distinguished career. We salute her today and extend our congratulations as we present her with the YWCA Women of Excellence Award. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Dr. Connie Straley.
Is that really me? I'm thinking, oh, I am so honored to be here today. I'm humbled by this experience, and I want to thank the Y for your commitment to the community and also for this lovely luncheon today. Congratulations to Myrna. I've known Myrna from Miami East, and the smile is always there. Did you bring us cookies today? Myrna is the best cookie maker ever. And Darby, I hear Darby couldn't be with us today, but I wish Darby all of the luck as she pursues a career at Georgetown University. Yes, my mother and father have been my role models. They were kind. They had high expectations out of their 3 kids. They gave up a lot in their lives for us kids. They gave up that big house. They gave up ever having 2 cars. And my mom is one of the hardest workers. She might be 93 years old, but she is as feisty at 93 as she was at 23. She's very humble, she's very intelligent, and she's very tenacious. When she wants something, she goes out after it. And now, the 2 apples of my eye are my son and daughter. Robin Williams drove up from Bowling Green, Kentucky today to be here. My son, Nick, who lives in Charleston, South Carolina, flew in this morning. Both of them have to go back to families tonight. They have been my life. I am so proud of them. They are hard workers. They're very successful in their chosen careers. Life would not be the same without my 2 children. And now, as I think about my career, and as I started going into administration, I will have to say that the 3 superintendents that I worked with the longest have really shaped me who I am today. They are Dr. Keith St. Pierre, Dr. Jeff Lewis, and Dr. Christy Donnelly. I worked in a combination of close to 25 years with these people. I used to love to sit in board meetings, sit in administrative meetings, and watch how they would handle different crises, different joys, different sadness that goes along in a school district. I would try to emulate some of their actions. They have played a big role in my career, and thank you. And then when I got to Piqua, I was blessed. I was brought to Piqua by Rick Haynes. And even though I got to work with Rick only 2 years, it was a joy, and I like to thank Rick for bringing me to Piqua. Thank you, Rick. And then my last 2 years of administration, I did get to work with Mr. Dwayne Thompson. Even though 2 years is not enough to get to know each other, I think we did a good job together. Thank you, Dwayne. And now, I have to tell you that I had to change part of my speech. Yesterday morning, since I am retired now, I like to get up and drink my coffee and look at Facebook. Well, guess what? On Facebook, there was a saying that I thought was so appropriate. Teachers need good co-workers. I never thought of myself as a boss. I always thought of myself as a teacher. But now I'm going to consider myself as a co-worker. Not just any co-worker, but co-workers who become friends. When teachers work well together, the whole school will succeed. And I will have to tell you, that is so true. And my friends here today are all co-workers. I'm not going to call them teachers because we're all core workers. They are Christy Dankworth, Kelly Snyder, Jackie Thace Birch, Stephen Brock, Cindy Brock. We all work together, and they're all teachers. They're caring, they're empathetic, they're smart people, they're unique, they're patient, they're listeners. Every quality that I think is so important for a teacher. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being here today. Now, in education, we cannot get away from kids. And one of my joys is staying in touch with students. There is a particular student in his senior year at Trotwood Medicine who was student government president, came to me one day and said, Mrs. Straley, I got this project. And I said, okay, what is it? And he says, I want to landscape Trotwood Madison High School. Now you have to remember, this is the old high school. And I said, sure, we can do that. Needless did I know, he was going to go out and get donations. And then we spent 2 weekends digging holes in the rain. And then the next weekend it snowed. We did not know what we were doing, but I'll tell you what, in the spring they all came up. Michael is one of those students that I've been close to. In college, he was majoring in theater. And I had an opportunity to go up and watch Michael in Jesus Christ Superstar, and he played Jesus. He had the command of that stage. I knew Michael was going places. Well, lo and behold, today Michael is with us. Michael is now the director and CEO of the Dade Art Institute. He is one of those kids that I get that smile on. I'm very proud of Michael. He is also on the advisory board at the Geddes College of Arts and Sciences at the Ohio Northern. Thank you, Michael, for being here. Another student that I was very close to, and from the first day I walked into Miami East, was a young lady by the name of Mary Beck. I used to call her MB. MB, when she had a goal, she set out and she accomplished that. Today, Mary's mother is here representing her, Joan Beck, and Mary is in pharmaceutical sales in the state of Illinois. And she is also a Dr. Beck, and she's another one that I feel so proud of. This award is very humbling, and I'm thinking, oh, I did not do this on my own. What I really would like to do is to share this award with all of my friends, my co-workers, my mentors, my mother, my daughter, and my son. And I would like to say today, it is a people of excellence and not just a woman of excellence. Thank you very much.
Our next honoree to be recognized is Myrna Yoder. She's been happy to live a life of service to her family and the community, and if you've seen her today, all with a smile on her face. I want to make a difference in this life. That's why I do all the stuff I do. And I do it with a smile on my face, she said, because if you aren't smiling, you're not very good to look at. I cannot imagine a more giving person than Myrna Yoder, said Tom Dunn, who's sitting over there, recently retired superintendent of the Miami County Educational Service Center, where she serves on the Board of Education. Dunn goes on to say Myrna is committed to serving her fellow man, woman, and child. Myrna has a positive impact on the lives of people with whom she comes in contact and never loses sight of serving mankind. A native of Union Township in Miami County, Myrna Moat attended Bowling Green State University, where she met her future husband, Ray Yoder. Her service began, kind of as Connie's, as a teacher of high school mathematics while Ray attended dental college. When the couple started having children, she stayed home and assumed all the roles that entails, and those of us with children certainly know what that sentence means. She and Ray, who passed away in 2005, have 5 adult children: Jay, Brett, Megan, Tim, and Holly, and 8 grandchildren. But following Ray's death, Myrna needed to find something to do. The American Red Cross came to mind as the nation was in the midst of hurricanes, including Katrina. I checked it out and was deployed that fall when there was one hurricane after another. For many years, the Red Cross really became my second family, she said. I wish I had 100 Myrna Yoders volunteering at the American Red Cross, but I'm thankful to have the one Myrna Yoder that we have, said Mark Cantrell, Red Cross Disaster Program Specialist, who said, and you're going to laugh at what was already said, who said she brings a family atmosphere to meetings with her personality and homemade cookies. Myrna currently shares Red Cross fire response tasks for the organization, being on call 24/7, 1 week at a time. If there's a fire and help is needed for a family, she provides immediate assistance and checks on them and their needs during recovery. In Myrna's words, I think that has become my existence, trying to meet needs, to help with my family, and help at all levels. In addition to tasks through the Red Cross, she has taught GED and English as a second language, serves as an election official, is on the Miami Valley Career Technology Center Board of Education, is active in First United Methodist Church, is continuing her activity in support of Miami East Schools, and is director of Fish of Troy Incorporated. Myrna said she believes in hard work, finishing what is started, and having fun. I quote her, all of the women that I bump shoulders with are in their own right women of excellence to someone. Every woman has things about her that are cherished, that are good, and that serve others. They may not know it, they may not feel it, they may not see it, but every woman is a woman of excellence. Yes, Myrna, we believe as you do. And to honor your commitment, this is your moment as we present you with the YWCA Women of Excellence Award. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Myrna Yoder.
It is an honor to be here, that is for sure. And as I've listened to all the things that have been said, I, like Connie, have to say, oh, boy, that sounds exhausting. How does one person do all of that? But it comes through years and years of hard work. You know, I knew Connie at Miami East, and I was a soccer mom then, working in the food stand at the games and taking kids to all kinds of games, and Ray was refereeing and coaching and doing all those things. And it's wonderful to see us come full circle. And I saw Connie again, not in the last year, because she would bring her mom to the Pearson house to eat. And I was in there with my mom, who just passed away a few months ago, just before she turned 98. And I was in there with my mom, and we ran into each other. And then I think we saw each other a couple more times in the Pearson house. And so how life does take us from stem to stern. I would have to thank my mother, of course, kind, gentle. She taught me how to be all the things that I am. And she taught me to work hard, finish the job, and be responsible. But I'll never forget, I sassed her sometime or another, and she said to me, "You'd better remember, no one is indispensable." I guess I was thinking I was pretty important, and boy, did she knock me down to my feet. And then my mother-in-law, Ray's mother, she left the Amish church at the age of 12, and she taught me things that were incredible beyond what my own mom had taught me. She taught me that life is funny, life can be good and warm, and her life wasn't exactly easy. But you know, as she grew older, she drove a purple Cadillac and she wore lots of jewelry and silver shoes because she didn't want to live like Amish. But she was, and she still was, and eventually they welcomed her back. But she left me with a wonderful view of life and how things should be, that we should go to parades, that we should have parties, and that we should have a lot of fun. And so those two women particularly have been such an influence on who I have become. Having 5 kids has been tremendous. I think when the last one graduated, and that would be Holly, and she is here. When the last one graduated, I texted the superintendent at Miami East, which was not any of the men that are here at the moment, and I said, you know what, I've had kids in this school system from 1971 to 1999. I said, I think I've had more kids in the system longer than anyone else. And the superintendent at that time didn't really know who was texting him, and he texted back, "Who is this?" And so I said, "Well, it's Myrna." And he said, "Oh, okay." But I do remember those Miami East days, and they made us who we are. And I spent a lot of days there because I had kids in school there for so long. And I loved my years there, and I still do a lot of things to help out as well. You know, the best thing is that I have with me my crew over here at this table. We were all cooking dinner last night at the church for, I think we served 105 people, and we have a good time together. And we keep each other accountable, and they told me they came early and camped out because they wanted to be the first ones in here. And I didn't even know they were coming. And so imagine my surprise. We worked together all evening. I had no idea, and I thank you guys for coming. That has become my role as I have grown older, is doing lots of cooking, lots of baking, taking things out, and being in the public. Fish of Troy is a charity that serves persons in need, and I love that job because it puts me through all income levels. And it's wonderful to work with all income levels and see that indeed there are women of excellence at every level. It isn't just someone who's been successful, but it's someone who's struggling. And those women are excellent. And as I said in my article, they don't see it, and they don't feel it, and they don't know it. But you know, someone cherishes them, someone loves them, and to them, that woman is the center of their attention. Red Cross has been a wonderful place to be, and likewise, many of the cases I work with there, they're across all poverty levels. And those folks have been the essence of what I have become because they were there when I needed them. thank you very much. I accept this honor, and I don't know how I got here, but I walked from there to here. Thank you. I will now share the accomplishments of the 2018 YWCA Young Woman of Tomorrow honoree, Darby Bupp. Darby Bupp has had no qualms about sharing her voice, whether through Piqua Show Choir or the Youth of Government program. This 2018 Piqua High School graduate recently began pursuing her college education, studying government at Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. This young adult is the real deal. She is the poster child for our slogan, "Respect, Responsible, and Kind," said Tom Westfall, choral director at Piqua High School. As an educator, it's always been my goal, Tom said, to make each student a better adult. The true sign of an amazing person is when the student can do the same for you, the teacher. And Darby Bupp has done that for me, and I'm sure you'll agree that's high praise from a former teacher. Darby is the daughter of Bradley and Maria Bupp and has a younger sister, Dana. She was co-valedictorian of her class and participated in an array of activities from Interact Club, National Honor Society, Science Fair, Speech and Debate Club, YMCA Leaders Club, Student Council, and Special Olympics volunteer, among others. Darby credits the YMCA Youth and Government program with playing a key role in her life. When she transferred to public schools from a private school in 7th grade, she said she was extremely shy. To help, her parents looked for clubs, including the YMCA's Youth and Government program. Explaining this program, Darby said the club is focused around an annual trip to the State House in Columbus, where students present bills that alter or create new Ohio state legislation. Because it was my first year, I was a page and wasn't allowed to speak. Hearing bills and not being able to speak my opinion on them was absolutely infuriating. And I didn't like the helplessness that I felt as a result of being silenced. Ever since then, I have known that I want to have a voice in government, she said. The show choir became my second family, she added. It took unimaginable dedication and humility, but being a leader in the program my senior year is something that I will never forget. It was a truly life-changing experience. Her role model is her mother. She said about you, Mom, she is by far the most selfless person I know. And she has made, I'm getting kind of choked up. And she has made endless sacrifices for our family. She is strong, humble, intelligent, and caring. And I strive to live my life by her example. I hope to one day inspire someone like she has inspired me. Darby said lovingly of you, Mom. Darby gives personal advice to other young women, and that is to never doubt their self-worth. Confidence is something that can't be purchased or taught, she said. It's only gained when someone is audacious enough to trust in themselves and take a risk. Get involved and share your opinions with the world. She tells us because no opinion is invalid. We regret, as you heard earlier, that Darby cannot meet all of you today because at this very moment, she's taking a midterm at Georgetown. Sometimes you have to make the right decision, even though in this case it's regrettable she can't be here. Darby's mother, Maria, will be accepting today on behalf of her outstanding daughter. So Darby, if you could hear us, we agree with your past teacher, Tom Westfall from Piqua High School. You are the real deal, girl. We will take to heart your encouragement to trust in ourselves and take some risks.
Now, we will honor you and wish you the best in all future endeavors. Everyone join me in welcoming to the podium Maria Buck, who will be accepting the YWCA 2008 Young Woman of Tomorrow for her daughter, Maria Buck.
Thank you. I was getting choked up too. Well, technology is wonderful because as I was walking in from the parking lot, I got Darby's speech. So Darby is wonderful at many things. Time management is not always on the top of that list. Okay, so here's Darby's speech. Growing up in this community has been a true blessing. Whether it be the cornfields, the Buckeyes, or just the great people, something here draws us together. I live in a new community now. She lives in a new community. My cornfields have been replaced by skyscrapers and my Buckeyes by taxi cabs. My days are filled with amazing opportunities and people, and none of this would be possible without the support of those that have helped me, and the little slice of Ohio still in my heart. I'm forever grateful to be from this community, and today I'm so proud to receive an award that shows that my community is grateful for me too. Thank you for the opportunity, the honor, and the pride that you have bestowed upon me today. Thank you for my grandparents, Ed and Sally Whirling over here, who have always supported me and continue to do so even when I'm 500 miles away. Thank you to my parents, whose love inspires me to try my best and motivates me to leave my bed for my early morning class. She did not say every class she has attended on time. I just wanted to point that out. And thank you to everyone that has come to support me as my mother accepts this award on my behalf. And as I look at the crowd today, I'm sure Darby would want to show special appreciation and give a shout out to Dwayne Thompson, the superintendent of the schools, and Joe Hines, whom Darby worked with closely with Youth in Government and Leaders Club and Special Olympics. You've both really helped form Darby into who she is, and thank you. Know that as I frantically take my history midterm today, I'm thinking of you. I am forever thankful for my home, and I know my beloved sea of skyscrapers and taxi cabs could not be a part of my life if not for all of you. Thank you.
Congratulations to all of you. It is my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, retired Air Force Colonel Cassie Barlow, PhD. Dr. Barlow was commissioned in 1988 as a graduate of Georgetown when she was assigned to her first of 11 assignments spanning the world. Her 12th and final stop was Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. She retired from active duty about 4 years ago. She currently is Chief Operating Officer of SOCI, working with colleges and universities to transform their communities and economics through the education, employment, and engagement. Cassie tends to volunteer with organizations that have touched her family. Her daughter's Girl Scout activities now find her on the board of the Girl Scouts of Western Ohio. Actually, I met Cassie the first time at a Girl Scout Awards ceremony where we were both being recognized. Her personal and professional concerns about Alzheimer's disease and dementia have led her to serve on that Dayton board. Other interests include arts and culture, science and technology, and of course, veterans programs. Cassie has co-authored a book, Saluting Our Grandmas, Women of World War II. It highlights women's contributions and Dayton's history during the war years. Please welcome a woman of excellence in her own right, Cassie Barlow.
Boy, it is a real honor to be here today, and I'm going to be short because today's about the wonderful ladies that we recognize today, and I just want to make sure we give them our full attention and our full honor, and I couldn't be more excited to be here. Just a note to yourself, I was planning on opening up what looks like a little bit of fudge on the way home and munching that on the way home. Just note to self, don't do that. It's to take care of yourself. You can take care of yourself with candy or with soap, and that's what that is. So don't eat it. Not that I tried, but I was going to. So thanks, Lisa, thanks for the invitation to be here. As I mentioned, it's a real honor to be here and to help you recognize these amazing ladies in our community. You know, today we're celebrating women of excellence. And the word excellence comes from the Latin word excellentia, which I probably said that wrong. My daughter's a classics major and she has taken Latin for 7 years, so I'm sure I said that wrong, which means superior and distinguished and to surpass and to rise above and to be prominent. And I believe being excellent takes some initiative and the courage to take a little risk. So I'd like to focus today a little bit on risk. Our ladies being recognized all had the courage to, during their careers, and knew when to take a little bit of risk. So Connie, for instance, started her career by taking a big risk. She stepped into a career that not many women had pursued, physical education. And 44 years later, she retired as an example for many to follow. Myrna also started her career and immediately decided to take on some risk. Where's Myrna? There she is. Opting to be a math teacher. Another field that not many women took up even today. And Darby, my fellow Hoya, starting her risk-taking at a very young age, decided to join the Piqua Show Choir. I can't think of anything scarier than singing in front of a group of people. This is why all my singing is done in private, in the shower, or at church when everybody else is singing along. So in 2013, there was a great article in the Huffington Post that talked about women and risk-taking. The article starts by stating that women are not exactly known for risk-taking. Matter of fact, women's lack of risk-taking in financial matters compared to men has been well documented in the research and in the literature. There are some who say that our country's financial crises of the past would not have occurred if more women had been in positions of power in the financial world. But the idea that women are biologically risk-averse is a myth. In fact, women's tendency to take fewer risks than men is much less rooted in nature than it is in the way that we're nurtured. But no matter why women avoid taking risks, doing so may be hurting us in the long run. And many wildly successful women have spoken out about why women need to face their fears and take more chances. These women CEOs and company presidents listed 7 reasons why risk-taking is essential to women's success. They should know, as they've all benefited from putting it all on the line. First and foremost, great, otherwise unforeseen opportunities often come from risk-taking, just as Darby just said, right? Taking risk shows confidence and helps you stand out. We learn from risks, and those lessons may lead us to an important new pathway. Success won't fall in your lap. You have to pursue it. And you don't achieve your dreams by playing it safe. Embracing risk-taking helps you overcome your fear of failure, and taking a risk doesn't mean doing so haphazardly. So with that said, I want to talk about one special woman in my life who took some risks and who I've learned a lot from. over the years. So she was a second-generation American whose family emigrated to upstate New York from very humble beginnings in Italy. She didn't come from an educated family, but dreamt of an education at a very young age. And at the very young age of 5, she lost her father. So she was raised along with her sister in a single-parent home by a mother during the height of the Depression. She tells stories of having only one bed in the home that she and her mother and her sister and her grandmother had to share. We'll fast forward a little bit to the year 1949, when, as a result of working multiple jobs while attending college, this young lady was able to graduate from college and the first one in her family to do so. She earned a degree in physical education, which was a field in which there were no other women. Throughout her degree program, she was always given the task of sweeping the gym floor and gathering up the basketballs at the end of every class. She finally got a break as she was hired as a physical education teacher at a high school. She was in charge of female physical education, because back then physical education was divided by gender. From the first day on the job, she started to ask questions about extracurricular sports for women. There was no Title IX back then, so there were only boys' extracurricular sports. She began to have secret practices for the girls. They called them play dates. Very early in the morning and very late in the evening when the gym was available, of course. She then started to coordinate with other schools so that her girls could play other girls in different sports. The efforts of this amazing woman to push for sports for young women led to the passing of Title IX in the year 1972. Right as this young woman's daughters, 2 daughters, myself and my sister, were entering school, having the privilege of playing organized sports. This young woman, who risked her job for the future of other young women, was my mother, who just turned 89 this year. So I mentioned my mother today because she was one of many who took risks within their fields in order to advance within their field. What they probably didn't realize at the time, because they were all driven to succeed and they all just wanted to contribute to their company, that they were building stones for the next generation to step on. I attribute the success I was able to achieve in my career directly to the women that went in front of me to pave the way. And I still believe all of us are doing this today. We all have a role, men and women alike, to make the world a better place for the next generation. The women we are recognizing today are also laying stones for the next generation and lifting them up, allowing them to excel in their career of choice. So thank you all for having me here today. I congratulate you all again on this wonderful honor, and I appreciate the time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cassie, for your message and for being with us today. At this time, I would like to recognize our past recipients of the YWCA Women of Excellence Award. I would ask that those in attendance please stand as I read your names and remain standing. Lenita Casey Wagner, Rita Hollenbacher, Ann Baird, Jean Heath, Cheryl Fox Bender, Jenny Beamish, Terry Nas, Susie Wise, Nancy Bowman, and Ruth Jenkins. Thank you, ladies. Many have asked about our past Women of Tomorrow honorees. Where are they now? We have caught up with three past honorees to bring us up to date. Not surprising, Macarena is in education, Samantha is on staff at an art museum, and Lauren, PhD, is a research specialist. More incredible details about these three, now adult women, are included in the program booklet. The Women of Excellence program is successful because of the hard work and tremendous support of many individuals. I encourage you to read the names of our sponsors and contributors listed in your program booklet. I extend a sincere thank you to our benefactors. We appreciate each gift or service that you have provided. At this time, we would like to recognize our patrons. These patrons are responsible for the greatest direct financial support for this year's Women of Excellence program. We thank Cheryl and Jack Neuenschwander, Wanda and Bill Lukens. We acknowledge these wonderful patrons and those they represent. Thank you. Many have supported the YWCA Women of Excellence program, many since the very beginning, 22 years ago. This support allows us to continue and encourage and recognize the excellent women in Miami County. We are also grateful to Mike Underwood Photography Studio for providing the beautiful photos of our honorees. We thank all of you for your generosity. I would like to thank the members of the various committees of the Women of Excellence program and the YWCA staff. Their continuous dedication ensures our success. Please note their names in your program booklet. And finally, on behalf of the YWCA, I would like to thank all of you for attending this event. Your support allows us to continue our purpose, striving to create opportunities for women's growth and leadership. Please enjoy the package at your place. It contains locally crafted items for your own self-care. Not much. Take note. It is not selfish to fill your own cup so you can pour into others. It is not just a luxury, it is essential. Please take the time to refresh your mind and body. Thank you again for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you next year as we honor the excellent women of Miami County.